When you ask just about anybody, what do you think the most important aspect of a relationship is? Most people will say communication, 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 communication. It's all about communication. And I'm going to tell you that communication isn't actually your problem. And in this video, we're going to go into what you actually need to be able to have healthy relationships. So let's get started with some of the foundational components that makes up a healthy relationship. I want to know, what do you think? Write in the comments, what's the most important thing for you in a healthy relationship? Trust, honesty, loyalty, intimacy, having support, feeling seen, feeling heard, being valued, respected, having healthy boundaries, quality time, and all of the love languages. Right, whether it be gifts, affirmation, quality time, physical touch, or acts of service. These are some of the foundational pillars. Some would say attraction, chemistry, sexuality. There are various answers depending on who you ask, yet most people think it's all about communication. Well, what is communication? That's the thing. Most people don't know what communication is and how to do it in a healthy and effective way. Right? What is healthy communication? Most people think that communication is just words coming out of your face. And while that is true, communication is so much more than that. Right? It's how you are, how you speak, your energetics, how you're approaching your body language. And so if communication was the most important thing, and the fact that 1 in every 2 relationships or marriages fails or ends, often pretty terribly, what is it that we actually need? And is it communication? Or is it a different way of communicating? I'm going to dive into this. The truth is that most humans on this planet are extremely dysregulated. They are programmed to be dysfunctional, disharmonious, struggling with trauma and wounds, and out of balance ways of interacting with themselves. Most people are programmed negatively with negative thoughts and negative beliefs and painful feelings, suppressed emotions, and inner child wounding. And so people are walking around as wounded children, and the way that they're interfacing with other wounded children who are bringing out their wounds and triggering them is through violence and war consciousness. Me versus you, tit versus tat. I am hurt by you. You are making me feel this way. It's your fault. You're to blame. Most humans are not fully functional in themselves. They're not healthy, happy, and whole and integrated with vibrant nervous systems that are working for them and a mind that is optimized for well-being. We're walking around pretty broken. Now, when you get into a relationship and you are living with somebody or spending a lot of time with them and they're doing something, they're their unique expression, you're your unique expression, and they're doing things that are triggering your not enoughness, your insecurities, your wounds, your pains, your programs, maybe triggering your values, maybe crossing boundaries, maybe triggering parts of you that you have suppressed or neglected. It's not really about being able to utilize words. It's really about doing the deep inner healing so that you come to relationships as a whole, integrated, regulated human. And then being able to communicate from that place. So yes, communication is important, and yet communication is just an extension of who you are and how you are vibrating and how you're resonating and the thoughts and the feelings, the emotions and the energy that's flowing through you. The other thing is that it's so cultural, it's sociological, it's psychological, it's ancestral. We are born perfect, blank slates, and yet we do have genetic programming, we do have ancestral wounding, we do grow up in environments that shape us. So when mom and dad are dysfunctional, and they're screaming at each other, and they're fighting, and they're slamming doors, and they're shutting each other down, well, what do you learn? Whether you like it or not, you pick up the patterns and the programs of your parents, and of your society, of your culture, of the kids at school, of the teachers. You are a sponge picking this all up, especially from the ages of 0 to 7. So again, to really come into a relationship, which is what we all want. We are social creatures. We are social creatures, and we desire, deserve, and need social interaction and love. And most humans, unless they've been very, very, very hurt, do want to be in healthy relationships. They do want to feel valued and seen and loved and to be connected intimately, whether it be romantically or with family, friends, coworkers. We need each other. And yet most of us are playing out and perpetuating these war programs. You versus me. War consciousness. Division. Polarity. So coming into that harmony, the most important thing is to really do your own work, to identify the pain points within you, the wounds and the triggers, to identify your values and your needs and your boundaries, to be able to get clear on what you need, on what the inner child within you wants, with what feels right for you. The second thing is to know that everyone's really a mirror to you. They are showing you themselves. They're showing you through a reflection of them. Now, instead of being reactive to each other, when somebody comes and is judgmental or triggering or yelling, instead of taking it personally, which is what most humans do, you can take a step back and say, oh, what is this person reflecting to me? And how can I take a breath, create calmness, create safety in my own system, and choose to respond rather than react? How can I see the love and the goodness in that person? And how can I speak through the heart, through love consciousness, through unity consciousness? One of the best tools for communication is something called nonviolent communication. You can also use authentic relating or heart-based communication. And authentic relating and nonviolent communication is really taking radical self-responsibility for yourself and for your own feelings, not projecting, not blaming, not judging, not criticizing, or using contempt and some of the lower vibrational forms of interrelating, but really choosing to stay in a higher vibration, to stay in love, to come from that heart, and to speak from that, to take responsibility for your own emotions. So say I'm triggered, for instance, and say my partner did something and I'm triggered. Instead of blaming him, saying, you made me feel bad, you made me feel little, you made me feel judged. No, nobody can make you feel anything. This is where you take that radical self-responsibility and you can share, hey babe, I'm feeling triggered right now. I'm feeling unappreciated. Oh, that didn't feel so good for me. What I need from you, or what I'm asking, could you say that a little bit more gently? Or could you come and give me a hug? So it's really important to identify how you feel in self-responsibility, to speak what you need, and to give a direct request. And when you come from this place, this is truly healthy communication, coming from an embodied place, coming from a regulated place, coming from a self-empowered place. There are so many ways in which we communicate in either subtle or gross, abusive ways. And it is so important for you to really become the observer of the way in which you are interfacing with the people that you're in connection with. Now, once you have that, you are whole and complete within yourself. You will attract others who are whole and complete within yourself. If you're continuously attracting partners who are unavailable, who are abusive, who are narcissistic, who are needy, who are whatever, it's reflecting to you something that is unhealed within yourself. So you get to see those relationships and those people coming into your life as a mirror for you. And you can ask yourself, where do I get to love myself more? Where can I bring more healing and integration into my own self, so that you will start to attract partners who can mirror the love that you have for yourself back to you. And this is where you get to get really clear on your values and the things that are important to you. And maybe it's love or honesty, quality time, intimacy. Maybe it's mutual support. Maybe it's equality. Maybe it's adventure. But whatever those values are for yourself, make sure that you know what they are, that they're clear for you, and write them down. Now, you're going to have preferences and you're going to have non-negotiables. And those non-negotiables are important, that you do not allow anyone to cross that boundary. Say your non-negotiable is, I don't allow screaming. Well, if you are interfacing with somebody who's screaming at you, you need to set that boundary. And you cannot allow people to continuously cross your boundary. So again, there it comes down to self-love and self-worth and knowing what you want and having those boundaries and being able to communicate them in a nonviolent and healthy way. So I hope this is helpful for you. This is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to having healthy relationships. Yet, if you can master the art of coming into that wholeness within yourself and in interfacing in a non-violent way, you will see incredible shifts in your relationship, in all of your relationships, especially the one that you have with the most important person in your life, and that's you. You deserve it, you're worth it, and it is absolutely possible for you. I love you so much, and I'll see you soon.